What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, tap the little bell for all to be notified when I post new readings, and of course, like and comment on this video. All of that is appreciated and it helps the channel. You can also make tips towards collective readings, and in the notes section you can put what style of readings you wish to see. But do remember, tips are only going towards collective readings in the channel. They don't go towards a personal reading. If you wish to have a personal reading, you have personal things you want me to look into, you can book a personal reading or even a soul session only through my website, and all the information about that is in the description. All other information you need is on the website itself. This is a general reading for the collective, so only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And of course, you are responsible for your actions and reactions to these readings. All readings and soul sessions are for guidance and clarity, but your decisions are your own. They're not meant to replace medical advice, financial advice, and etc. because, legally I have to say that. Without further ado, we're going to hop into this reading. This reading is pulling on the energy of actually Mercury, Jupiter, and the full moon in Leo. Because last night I was led to leave these decks out, and then the cards actually wanted to be read today. So that means we're pulling on the energies of communication, summoning, healing, but we're also pulling on luck, wealth, prosperity, as well as road opening, self-love, and success, because Leo, which is normally on a Sunday, that's what a Sunday normally represents. So all those energies are coming in, a lot of activity. Tomorrow, Venus and Jupiter are going to be connecting. And it's an interesting thing because that means a lot of prosperity and a lot of love. So if you know how to center yourself and tap into these energies correctly, or if you allow yourself to be guided to, you can actually manifest a lot of greatness. And I feel like this reading is going to have a lot to do with manifestation. The first cards up here, all four came out at the same exact time. These are messages from your future self. We're actually using my soul sister Maruk. We're using her future self oracle. And so these messages here are going to help you know what is it that you have to do to get to that level, what could be in the way. And then down here we have some divine messages to clarify even further what's happening. I'm going to channel the rest of the way. For those of you who are used to being here, you know that I'm a psychic medium and a channeler. So I go beyond what the cards say. It's pretty much the idea. All right, we're going to hop into the first card. All of these are connected. They're all a part of one story. You may resonate with some parts more than others because of it being a collective reading. Some names may still come through, features, that type of thing can happen, but we're going to see how it goes, okay? First card. A new career path will be highly successful. Trust the magic of newness. This is a confirmation for all of you that are trying right now to either start your own business, save up for it. You got to be careful with the saving because you don't want to get stuck in only saving. And for those of you who you've been thinking of just moving to a new career choice altogether, a lot of you, you've worked certain jobs for a very long time, for a few years now, some of you even 15 years, 20 years. You know that job like the back of your hand. You know all the co-workers that have come and gone, and etc., right? But you're not happy in it. You know what to do, and you do it, you get the work done, but it's unfulfilling. And you have to understand your thoughts, your emotions, they create your reality, and then that reality affects the collective. So every time you go to a job that you can't stand and you force yourself to believe, I have to do this because I have to, there's no other option, there's no other choice, you are creating situations that leave you stuck. You're closing more doors than you are opening more doors. I'm sensing some of you want to be authors. Some of you want to be mentors. Some of you just want your own business and you realize that you don't know much about online and now you need to figure it out. Because if it's one thing the pandemic has shown you, you can't rely on just one source of income, one source of how you make money, and that being I have to go to a job, clock in and clock out. And many of you, you're starting to realize that you're young, because some of you are young and some of you are still young even if you think you're too old. And you're like, I really can't do anything. I go to work, or I'm at home working, however it's happening for you. You're completely codependent on that check alone, and you don't get to experience life. You don't get to travel nowhere, and etc. This is telling you that right now, in the year of the 5, in this year of 2021, we've already went through 2020, the eye openers, see all truths. We're still in a year that's showing you truths. Seeing the truth isn't over yet. So if you thought last year was whew, this year is still going to reveal truths to you. Now is the time to make commitments. to actually, 5 lights a fire under the ass. And you will find many people who know about this will tell you the same thing. If they're in numerology and etc., they'll let you know. 5 lights that fire under the butt to get up and do something. Commit to something. No more, oh, it's not ready. No more, I don't know what to do. You're going to learn what to do. You're going to let yourself be guided, whether it's intuitively, whether it's the divine itself, which is a part of your intuition, comes in and sends you somewhere. Sometimes the divine slaps your hand and tells you to go to a different choice. You might want to stick to one career for a minute, even though it's unfulfilling. And every time you try to advance in it, the door closes in your face right when you get to a certain point. You know why? Because you're probably meant to choose a different path. It might lead you to where you want to be, but it's a different path. And there's a reason you have to go that way. So it's kind of like you're trying to get into different doors and the divine's like, not that one, not that one, not that one, this one. And you can see this one much clearly if you allow yourself to pay attention to how things are happening. What are the synchronicities here? And what's forming? Is it forming based on you wanting to do a career out of your heart space? Because that's another thing. How much is your heart into what you're doing? You see all of this green here that's popping up? This is the heart chakra. And I want you to notice how it's this big burst of light just bursting out, creating these other circles of light. That is how much your spirit and your heart being into something contributes to the success of it. You are already an abundant being. Abundance is already here. Life's purpose is you. You can't keep asking, what is the purpose of life? You. What you decide to do is the purpose of life. It's going to contribute to not only your life, but other people's life. So are you trying to manifest something from your heart, or have you been manifesting from survival? Have you been manifesting from, I think I need to do this because I don't know of any other way? Deep down inside, you know of another way. So all of you that's been asking those questions about when should I start a business, learn everything you can learn, but understand it's still going to be a risk either way you look at it. Your job is to face the challenge. 5 says, face this challenge, stand up to it, learn what you need to know. Now implement what you learn, move forward. The goal is to constantly move forward. Know when to rest, know when to go again, know when to fight, know when to pass. That's what you have to figure out. Okay. Now you can get a lot of guidance and clarity on that, but at the end of the day, all of the decisions are yours. What I will say is this, the fair warning. You are living in a time where you can no longer be neutral with your life and with your choices. You can no longer say, I choose this because it's the safe answer. You will be put in situations where you have to make a decision. The decision is free will. You can say yay or nay, but you're going to have to make that decision. The standing on the fences, no longer an option here. Especially when it comes to career. So what your higher self, what your future self is trying to tell you, there is success in the risk. Just pay attention to the signs. There's success in believing in yourself, truly believing in yourself. Sit down in meditation, sit down with that project that you're trying to implement and find out, what is it about this project that makes you want to do it so bad? And if it's coming from survival mode, put it to the side for a minute, tap into the heart. What does your heart want to do? Like I said, I'm picking up authors, mentors. There is something that you are an expert at because you've experienced life. Look, even if you say to yourself, I haven't experienced much, you can vent about that in a book. You can vent about your experiences because somewhere in this world, there is someone in a similar position. They're trying to figure out what to do and they're trying to figure out how to get out of that mentality. And as you are teaching yourself to come out of it, guess what? You're creating a program that can do the same thing for other people. For those of you that just want to switch career, maybe you're a stay-at-home nurse or whatever the case may be, you're like as great as all that is and you like helping people, but that's just not the way you want to do it. That's just not your calling. You've done it for as long as you can do it. You're reaching the breaking point with it. What is it that you really want to do? If that question is too hard for you, ask yourself, what do you want to contribute to the world? Because every day you're contributing something regardless. I feel like sometimes you guys believe that if you don't think about it, you're not stressing about it, and then that means that you don't have to worry about it. But this is the thing. Your thoughts manifest reality every day. Your emotions are pulling in law of attraction every day. Every inaction as well as action that you take manifests your reality. You never stop manifesting. If you said, oh, I've done that stuff before and it didn't work, you weren't paying attention. And I'm the wake-up call to let you know you weren't paying attention. Now you have the opportunity to pay attention. When you think a negative thought, when you say to yourself at the beginning of the day, oh, my day is going to be crap, what happens? Your day becomes crap 9 out of 10. Or it could be peaceful and then something seems to come in to disrupt it. Do you know why that happens? So that you'll end up having that thought of, see, I knew today was going to be womp, womp, womp. And then that sets a vibration. That vibration creates a reality. Your mind, your physical mind that everybody tells you to rely on so much, it doesn't always know the difference between the truth and a lie. So if you say you're miserable, it'll go, oh, you must want more misery because you're thinking about it all the time. If you lie to yourself and say, I'm not attractive, or I'm not this, I'm not that, it goes, oh, well, you must want me to show you proof of that. You must want me to show you that you're unattractive. And it'll keep creating these situations that'll bring down your vibration. And when you operate from a low vibration, you can be manipulated by outside sources and people. So then you end up living a kind of life or living in a setting that no longer suits what should have been your highest purpose. But it's never too late to turn that around. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 70. It's never too late to turn that around. The concept of age, the concept of aging, it's not that we don't expand and grow older, but your concept of it, you thinking that you have to look a certain way when you get old, you thinking that you can't do a certain thing when you get old, that is a human construct. It's gotten way out of hand, but that's what it is. And some of you feel like you can't embark on a new career because either you're too old, too young, or too inexperienced. But all inexperience means is there's something I don't know because I didn't have experience, and now I need the experience. Now I need to know it. You don't allow for anyone to get in the way of what your true passion leads you towards, and say to the divine, where do I need to be? You can, the divine source, God, you can choose whichever name you want to. Where do I need to be? Please show me. And be open to receive the message and then follow in the steps. There will be challenges. There will be moments where you're like, what the hell is going on? But stay true to your path. Adapt when you need to adapt. Push forward. Do not stand on the fences. Don't say, I'm just going to be neutral because I don't know. If I choose nay, that could be bad. If I choose yay, that could be bad. Guess what? The choice of neutral, it still has an effect. If you say to yourself right now, quarantine's happening, so I'm just going to stay inside. I'm not even going to work from inside. I'm just going to do nothing. Guess what? There was a place, a person, a situation that you needed to be in contact with or be, and you didn't do it. So now that affects that person. That creates a timeline. You're constantly creating timelines every time you make a decision. So now, if you're making it from the heart space, if you trust and believe I will be successful, I will be led to where I need to be, and that's going to play into what I truly desire. Don't get caught up on just your wants, is what I'm saying too. Some of y'all are very attached to your wants, and your wants could be born out of superficial things. You could have wanted to be something just because you come from a long line of family of people who did it, or because you saw something great on TV one day. There's a lot of reasons that people come up with a want. Tap into your true desire and needs, because the reality is when you get on the right path and you do what you're really meant to do, and you end up where you really were meant to be, you'll be happy. You'll always push forward. You'll always want to challenge. You'll always want to grow and expand, because we are beings that constantly grow and expand. As above, so below. So as space and all things within it grow and expand, as spirit is constantly growing and expanding, so are we. We keep going as well. So there's no such thing as a settling. There's no such thing as standing still. You're moving even when you think you aren't moving. Get into flow. Now, that was a long message to come out to that one card, but it is what it is. That's how it channeled in. Hopefully you guys might have to listen to it a few times. And then look at this. What did I just say? First of all, I want you to notice this is a portal. If you're used to my channel, you've heard me say a lot. There are veils and portals that are just open. Everybody keeps telling you, new portals opening, new veils opening. Yes, new ones are opening every day, but there are some that are already open. There are some that are already thin. And with that being said, the question here is, are you ready to go through this portal? Are you ready to allow yourself to step into the unknown? Most of you stay at certain jobs or in certain situations because it's what you know, even if it's toxic. I feel like some of y'all are dealing with toxic coworkers. For some of you, it's not even work related. It's just life. There's a newness trying to come into your life, and you're not allowing it because you're afraid of it. And you need to face the fear and go through anyway. And this portal is saying, I got all these opportunities. You can't fail here. How you're going to get it? You don't know, but you don't need to know. You just need to trust. Trust in you, trust in me, trust in the divine, and step through. That's what this portal is saying. And this portal is opened by your guides. For some of you, it's opened by your ancestors, because your guides can be many different beings. They're not always just your ancestors. But the ones who wish the best for you, the ones who say, look, we've seen what type of future you can have. Here's the portal. We've spent time and time since the moment you were born making sure that we can manifest this. And when you came to this world, you knew what you were capable of, but you got lost in the matrix. Are you willing to be woken up now? The card itself says there's still time to change. Remember, I said I don't even care if you're 70. The road you're on, it's never too late. You can change that career, that lifestyle. If you're saying you want to be healthy, if you were told that you're too sickly, or you're too this, you're too that, you get to make the decision of whether you choose to accept that or not. You know, that's up to you. Do you accept it, or do you move forward? Next card, another portal. Look at that. Lessons in life will repeat until they are learned. Another thing you hear me talk about, and for those of you who follow the Light Wisdom podcast, if you don't, you're going to want to check that out. The first season will be finished soon, and then I'll be already moving into the next. I speak of a lot of different things, and portals are a big topic, because everything is a spiral, everything is a portal. Okay, our dimensions are spirals within spirals. Our universes are spirals within spirals. You can go to many different spiritual yogis, teachers, gurus. They're all going to confirm the same thing, and whether it's a roundabout way, or whether they just directly come out and tell you, whether they say it's a secret or not. I mean, honestly, if you just look at the circle of life, that's why we call it a circle. You know what I mean? Because it's a circle. It goes around and around and around and around. This is what happens whether you learn a lesson or not. You choose which cycle, which circle, which portal and spiral you want to keep spinning in. When you don't learn a lesson, you're saying to the universe, and you're saying to yourself, I want to keep repeating the mistake because I have not learned it. I need to learn, I need to learn, I need to learn. You ever hear some people say, I like to touch the fire. I know it's going to be hot, but I want to touch it again just because. Do you realize you're touching the same type of fire? It'd be different if you were touching a different fire. Maybe you'll become magically immune to it. But you're choosing to touch the same kind of fire over and over again. You're expecting a different result, and you're getting the same thing. First of all, why are you having an expectation in the first place? Let expectations go. And when I say that, I mean, let go of the attachment that you have that something has to work out a certain way, something has to exist a certain way in order for you to learn it, or in order for it to be done. Let that go. Because in reality, you don't know. Like, you don't know. Your higher self may know, but your higher self isn't meant to tell you everything, because you have to live it. You have to breathe it. You have to experience it. Experiencing creates the vibration of feeling and emotion, which helps you to manifest the outcomes you want. Lessons are meant to be learned, not constantly repeated over and over because you're choosing to purposely not learn them, or because you won't allow yourself to believe in yourself enough to wake up out of a negative cycle. So when you say, oh, I'm too old to learn something, that's a myth. But if you keep saying it to yourself, not only do you manifest it as a reality, it becomes your personal truth. And no one can tell you to not have your personal truth, right? So if you keep saying to yourself, I can't learn, I won't step into that unknown because it's unknown, and I can't learn the unknown, then you constantly repeat a negative cycle over and over again. Expecting new results, being miserable, expecting to somehow not be miserable one day. And this is how we get people who therefore need to make other people miserable. Misery doesn't love itself as company, but it needs to create more misery in order to prove its existence, in order to prove that it has a reason to be. So are you choosing to be miserable, which could actually be affecting other people around you, whether you want to acknowledge that or not? For some of you, you know it is. That hit home for you. My readings are not simple. I'm not here to lie to you or bullshit you. Some of you know that when you're miserable, your kids are miserable, your spouse is miserable, your family's miserable. and you blame it on outside things. But at the end of the day, you have a choice to make. Somebody outside you can trigger a situation, but it's up to you whether you are accepting that situation. And here's the thing. You can sit up here and think that in this life, okay, I didn't learn the lesson, fine, I'll somehow move on, that'll be the end of it. Many of you carry lessons you didn't learn from the last life into this one. This life right now, this current incarnation, you can stop all the madness. You can let it go. You can let go not being heard before, which now affects you in this life because you constantly feel like you're never heard. You can choose to not accept that as your reality. Those who are meant to hear you will hear you. Those who are not, let them be where they are. That's their own cross to bear. You move forward. You let go of what doesn't serve your highest purpose. You don't wish them ill. You don't wish them bad. You don't try to bring them down. You let it go. Because for every ill intent that you wish upon another who simply has not learned their lesson, it ricochets off of them and it comes back to you. You don't have the time for it. Now, for those of you who know how spell work, very different topic. Depends on who you're sending it against. Is it somebody that actually wronged you in such a way that they're keeping you stuck? Most people, that's not the case. Some people are arguing with the individual, going back and forth when that individual doesn't have much power on them to begin with. There's no need to unbind anything. You simply just need to make the conscious decision. You will no longer affect me because I no longer choose to accept your negativity. And then you move forward. You set the right kind of barriers and boundaries. You never close your heart off because remember, we create from the heart. But you let that person know you're not going to have access, that person, that singular. You will not have access to any part of me that makes me go down this spiral of unlearned lessons. And some of you are clinging to past relationships, past conflicts, traumas from childhood, and etc. You're clinging to them because it's what you know. You feel that you have to. It creates a victim mode. It creates a constant repeat of I'm low, I'm this, I'm that, I'm angry, I'm this. All of those are low vibrations. Your higher self is calling you out right now. What will be your response? Because only you can come up with a response. I can rattle on, but the decision is yours. Look at that. I'm going to point out how these pictures all draw together in a moment, but we have, if you need to break the rules, do it with what? What word did I say earlier? Conviction. To make a difference. That is your purpose. That's everyone's purpose. Everybody can make a difference. Some of us, we have bigger roles to play because we can handle that. We may not think so at first, but we can handle it. But whether your role is something really huge, there's no such thing as insignificant. Some roles may require more than others, but there's no such thing as an insignificant role to make a difference. Do you see this lightning? What was I talking about earlier with the sword? Clarity. Lightning comes from the sky. The swords represent air. So some of you are also air signs with that. The sword represents air. And so this is about getting lightning sharp. Being as powerful and as strong as a bolt of lightning. Do you understand how powerful one bolt of lightning can be? Least of all when it's in a storm. Ride these storms out because first of all, what's happening right now, because it's such a compile of things, it feels heavy. It feels impossible. But most of you, especially the older you are, you've lived through worse. Some of you that are young, you've lived through more stuff than some of the older people watching. You've survived harsh climates, harsh situations, unlovable moments. You're still here. You're still standing. You need to give yourself credit for that and stop acting like this unknown is so scary and so much worse than what you've already been through. 2020 was an eye-opener. It removed the veil of secrecy and lie. 2021 is saying, I'm still breaking down the towers. Our society, it's built on the back of a faulty foundation that was never meant to really stand strong anyway. And it's like someone just took a carpet, laid it over a floor that was already caving in and allowed people to walk back and forth on that floor. Eventually, that floor is going to come down. And when it comes down, it's bringing the whole damn tower with it. But you have an opportunity to say, I'm not even going to participate in this. I got something of my own I'm going to build. It's going to be stronger. It's going to be built on sturdy foundations. It's coming from the heart space. I'm tapping into all of my chakras, all of my alignments, all of my gates. There are all types of gates within your body, right? This is why our health is so affected by our energy and our energy by our health, because everything's connected, everyone and everything. This is saying, get inspired. Allow the electricity to just pulsate through you. You're made up of the energies that you look at and you think, wow, those storms are so powerful. Wow, the seas and the air and this, you are made up of all of it. You're made up of the star clusters. You are from the star clusters. You're made of all of it. Whether you identify star seed or not, it matters less in this. At the end of the day, as above, so below. As within, so without. Tap into that power. Break the rules if you have to. If the rule says I, out of survival, have to stay in this situation that makes me unhappy, break the rule. If the rule says I'm too old, I'm too young, break the rule. The divine's not pulling punches with you. Your higher self isn't pulling punches with you. You know to do this. You watching, you know this message already. You might have went from triggered, inspired, triggered, inspired, 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 triggered again, but you knew that this was coming out this way. If you're a psychic and you're watching this, you pulled some cards, you sent a similar message, didn't you? You know what you have to do. Look at how these all come together, creating from the heart space, stepping into the portal of the unknown, breaking cycles of lessons that should have been learned probably several lives ago, including this one, allowing yourself to get a spark of creativity, tap into the power of your spiritual mind, your spiritual being, bring it and incarnate it into your physical being, and then manifest. Manifest in those other dimensions. It'll come into this one twice as fast. There's not a single spiritualist that doesn't know that, if they really know what they're doing. You can be guided to understand this message in so many different ways, but many of you, you already could kind of feel it was coming. You just needed that real wake-up call, that real call out. And the funny thing about it is, it's your own higher self calling you out on it. This is a beautiful message. There's nothing negative about this message. And like I said, this career card, for some of you, it is a career path. For many of you, it's just accepting newness in your life. Every time something new pops up, you gain anxiety. What is the positive in the new that's coming? And if that new, you can't see the positive, it doesn't serve your highest purpose, move on from it. What do you need to move to? Ask yourself these questions because your higher self knows these answers. Ask the divine when you seem to not be able to tap into the higher self, and be open to receive. This is not about give and take, tit for tat. This is about give and receive. Are you ready to receive what the universe is giving to you? Divine timing depends on you. It's happening every day. Right now in this moment, this is divine timing. But whether you can grab what comes your way or not will depend on how ready you are from it. And here's the kicker. Here's the thing that'll make many of you uncomfortable. Some of those opportunities are coming regardless of what you do. You're either going to grab it or let it pass. Yay or nay, the decision is yours. What does the divine have to say? Compose. Look at that. Composure. So this is meditative state. Notice the colors here. We're tapping into solar plex. We're tapping into the sacral chakra. Do you see what I'm saying? How many times did I mention the sword, the blade? How many times? This is about going within. This is meditation. Now, for some of you, active meditation will work better. For others, passive meditation. Truthfully, you can evolve to different levels. Different days are going to call for different types of meditation. Do what you're called towards. But meditation is very powerful for a reason. And you've been put in a society that makes it feel like it's so hard to meditate. Take 5 minutes. Commit yourself. This is the year of commitments. Commit to 5 minutes of meditation and going within. Listen to your dreams. Pay attention to the messages. Write them down as soon as you wake up. Okay, I just did a dream post about the survival chakra on my @NativeMamina account that may resonate with some of you. But tap into those different powers of your consciousness. Consciousness isn't just restricted to the physical brain. True consciousness and spirit flow together as one. You are trying to tap into the highest realm of consciousness and understand something. Even your physical brain, it has over 80 different gates and portals to it. And within each of those options are different levels of consciousness, different levels of knowledge. It's time that you start unlocking them. Okay, we also have third eye energy here, communication. Notice that the flames in the palm of his hand look similar to the lightning. Like, I want you to see these synchronicities for yourself. What is this story telling you? In perfect harmony. Number 11. 11 is probably a very powerful number for you guys, or the number 2. Because it's number 11, because I see the number 2, this is also harmony. But this speaks of move these up a bit. This speaks to not only being in harmony with yourself, but remember I said earlier, some of you are having issues with family because of your mood and their mood. Getting into flow helps you to harmonize with the people around you. If you feel that your family isn't really your soul tribe, you can't really connect to them for some reason, there's a lesson that was still meant to be learned there. That's why your soul ended up there. You were a lesson and a blessing for them, and they couldn't figure it out. But they're also a lesson and a blessing for you if you know where to look. Your true soul family will come in. They will hear your song. They will flow in the more that you go within. Accept that you have to center yourself in composure to be in perfect harmony and alignment with yourself and with the others who are meant to help you come in your life as your guides. You have your spiritual guides and you have your earthly guides. Invest in yourself. This could be investing in readings or soul sessions, but even with doing that, you're still going to have to tap within your own power. We are not here to replace your inner power. We are simply here to help you wake up to it. Right? This is also speaking to collaboration. There are some of you, the ideas you have, you want to collaborate on, and you've been wondering, how do I go about it? Who do I collaborate with? Or you may have someone that's been coming to you for a long time, like, hey, when are we going to do this idea? Get them contracts in order, make sure that your rights and their rights are laid out clearly, and start making this music, start getting in the vibe of this harmony. And again, I'm going to sit these here for just a moment, and I want you to see what picture's coming out in your own mind's eye, because this is a collective reading. There's a lot of energies coming in here, and there's a lot of, even that, like, my talking tends to get all kind of crazy whenever energies channel in like this. This is a complete channel message, and I want for you guys to be able to tap into your own higher self. What message do you see? How does this translate for you? Some parts resonated more than others, but if you were to look at this whole scale, what story do you get? Either way you look at it, it's going to lead back to inner work and being in harmony. Composure, in harmony. Meditation, bringing in collaboration. And like I said, many of you are air signs, or you either it's in your chart, or, so it could be your sun sign, could be your rising, could be your moon, could be your Venus, could be in your Venus chart, right? Some of you have a lot of fire, so you could be a fire sign. And even if you aren't those signs, they contribute to the message of this reading. So which attributes of that contribute to your reading to help you understand it? And how do those attributes flow with your chart? Your chart isn't meant to just completely rule you. You're meant to understand it, master it, and see how it flows and weaves into other areas. Okay? But that's your message here. This is the divine confirming what your higher self is saying to you. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Blessings towards your future. Believe in yourself.